Good morning. Good morning. Can we come in the room right quick? Can we just come in the room right quick? I just want to have a brief conversation. Can we just come on in the room right quick, right quick? Can we come in the room right quick? You know, today is Friday. I pray that any of you didn't wait for yesterday to show love when love's supposed to be given every day. But it's, I understand the holidays. Don't get me twisted, but I believe in being myself every day. I don't need a holiday to tell you improve, or excuse me, not even prove, to show you that I love you, because actions mean more than anything. But if I can just get you to come in the room today, I want to have a quick, simple conversation and let you go about your day. I want to do this as directed, but I want you to get some meat from this matter. I want you, as of today, to be very, very, very careful of how you communicate. Morning, beautiful, handsome man, you. I want you to be very careful of how you allow your conversations to enter in and out of your being. With that being said, I just want to drop this nugget. You can't have in-house conversations without house people. You can't have in-house conversations without house people. And what do I mean with that? In life, we're a different type of people. We come from a different culture. We come from very different backgrounds. We're very diverse, yes, but we speak different languages. And this one is coming from this thing here, because I was talking to God because I've been dealing with some situations. I've been dealing with some people who have been with me forever, forever. Know more about me than I know about myself. But at the same time, I'm listening to everybody else. Because when I counsel, I take on some of that information to see how could I make my life better. Because in order to be a great counselor, a great physician, a great person, you always got to be studying and finding out about you. You can't always want to be the life and the doctor in somebody else's life and your life is jacked up. So for the past month or so, I've been in this little funk. I'm going to be a million with you. While encouraging you guys to speak in life as directed by the Holy Spirit, I've been in this funk. Because there are some things in life that you would really like to trust yourself with people with, but in-house conversations are out-house words. And because the language barrier is different in everybody's house, you can't keep taking your in-house conversations, your in-house communications outside people, because that comes along with tampering. You have allowed your immaturity in your in-house conversations to allow out-house people to label the person or the individuals you're speaking of. Many of you don't even know and don't even accept the sabotage. You won't accept that you're prejudiced, and you won't accept your enviness. I have several people that I've been counseling, I've been talking to, that tell me they're not jealous. That's the first thing they say before you even say it. They're not envious and they're not prejudiced. Yes, you are. Because many of you, if you study the definition of prejudice, you base an opinion of an individual based on how they react or what you see or you hear other people say, never figuring out and knowing that person for yourself. You take an in-house conversation with your in-house languages and you pull people into it, out-house people into your in-house conversation, knowing your language barriers are different. You don't sit down and explain it, but because you are longing and thirsty to be complete or to be needed or be in a community of people, you take an in-house conversation and you destroy unintentionally, then intentionally, because you're being warned, the person that you are, the individuals that you are having that in-house conversation with, because you want to fit in and blend in on the outside. Well, people of God, children of God, and individuals alike, you are made to be a peculiar people. So sometimes and oftentimes your conversations that you have in-house will never register to out-house people. Your language in your house is different than those on the outside or the out-house people. You got to be careful how you allow people in your house, in your conversations, in your language, in your lingo, and go out here because you're desperate for attention. You want to fit in and you're lonely. So you bring out-house people into your in-house conversation, destroying innocent people. That's how what it is now, because I'm sitting here in my lessons and I asked God, I said, how is it that they don't see the infiltration? How is it they don't see the contamination? Many people don't care to see the contamination or infiltration because they're desperate and they're longing for the personal attention or to fit in something they're not meant to be fitting in. What you're supposed to be done, even on a job, is to be an example because you are blessed to be a blessing. You sell yourself short, becoming a slave to a bondmaster instead of allowing yourself to be that person in position of authority to allow your words, your in-house motivation, your in-house encouragement to bring the outhouse people in. Now you are infiltrated and you're stuck because now you're going to sabotage that what you said you love, and now you're wondering how can you fix it? It can't be fixed. You can't fix it because you allow the in-house conversation, the in-house communication to be affected because you are desperate and lonely for outside attention. You can never. And I have a small group of people I will trust with my life. But I have those people that I know how to have a conversation. I know what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. Because at the end of the day, my in-house conversation will not be affected by out-house communication. Many of you have got to tell yourself, I'm guilty of this. You have allowed your in-house language to cause you to want to fit in into an outhouse world. And now they have labeled the individuals involved in your in-house conversation as whack, as crazy, as silly, as retarded, as not making good sense when they have good sense. Because we allow the in-house conversation to be outside the house, bringing people who don't know our languages or what we speak to cause damage into a life of an innocent being that can speak life and change their life. What are you saying, woman? I'm saying this right here. Even in ministry, you have people who are still wounded. You have people who will never admit what they've done. You have people who won't get transparent with you because I tell you, I'm not perfect 24/7. I'm not perfect. Striving for it, not perfect, but I will not allow anybody to change my heart. I will not allow anybody to bring prejudice to me, and I will not allow anybody to build me an opinion. If I can't know you for myself and learn you for myself, that's my gift I missed. You are a gift. I can't allow somebody's outhouse conversations to affect what I believe and who you are on the inside. I can't believe what society has labeled you as. I can't help that they dropped you. I can't help nothing. But the love that I have in me can either encourage you, instill you, motivate you, and push you to your greater you. I will not allow the infestation of what you done yesterday to affect where we're going today. Many of you got to understand this and know this. Your in-house languages and your in-house conversations got to quit allowing outhouse people to come in there and have a seat under your table. You are killing people and then you're questioning what's wrong with the relationship. You're wrong with the relationship. While they're saying you change, I change for the better. And because you decided to make sure that God stayed on your shelf and you wanted out what he told you to do, quit hating on me when this is very uncomfortable for me. I made up in my mind I will not be intimidated, I will not be punked, and I will not be shaken because you're immature and you can't handle it. I can have my in-house conversation and communicate my language, but I will never allow out-house people to come put their feet under my table and then try to justify it. What am I saying is this? Many of us go to places and have trusted people with our in-house communications, our in-house languages. Now they contaminated it because you allowed the in-house, because you didn't question it. What happened to the spirit of discernment in the house of God, though? Let's be a million with that. I don't care if I'm your pastor or your leader. I don't even care if I'm your the social worker or whatever I am. You better question my intent. You better make sure I'm gifted to handle what you fit to deposit in me. Many of you, because you're longing for attention and want to fit in places, you leave a gift with trash. The person can't handle you. They love gossip. You have to be careful of what you allow your in-house stuff to be outside of. If that person is in your house and they're speaking your language, they cover you, they protect you, they encourage you, they pray for you, they push you to your greater you keep them. But if that person's always questioning your motives and they ain't got no water, they ain't got no heat or no oil or no value or no fire themselves, don't you put your information in that. People will always tell you they're changing. I'm going to speak a million of you. They always tell me I'm different, I'm changed, I can't be you. I don't want you to be me. I don't want you to be me. I want you to understand who you are first. When you can master being you, then you can pretend like you're somebody else. Quit being everybody's puppeteer. Quit being everybody's puppet. What happened within the four walls that God can visit is because we allow our in-house conversations to be behind the pulpit, claiming God told us something when it's our flesh, because we have given, therefore, the access and the authority for the outhouse person to speak our in-house message with no oil, no plans of deliverance, and even no plans of seeing God come through for you. You got to mature in your languages and your conversation. You got to know what to say, when to say, how to say, and who to say it to. There's a lot of people out here that are just looking for Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. You on the wall. Now they're looking for your great fall because they can run out and tell everybody. But be careful. Be careful, because my conversations will always be with people I can trust with my in-house communication. They know my in-house language. They know what to do. The ones that really know me, I know they will never put outhouse people into my in-house conversation. You got to be careful, because you're holding grudges against innocent people when it was who was close to you that took the in-house conversation that y'all had outside. And if it was confidential, I should never have to tell an in-house person this is confidential. I don't care if your great grandma asked you how I'm doing. She good. You don't have to go in detail about nothing about me if you're an in-house person with me. Because sometimes people asking you how so-and-so is doing is to get information to take to the next gossip fellowship meeting session, or the meeting that you're supposed to be having at church, but they are the topic of your conversation. Let's be 1,000. Some of these fellowships and these meetings are not about growing communities, changing communities, shifting dynamics, doing kingdom. They're just trying to have the biggest conversation, see who can fall first. Seeing what happens. And then you have those who always tell you you changed because they no longer understand why you had to cut the ties. You had to cut the cords. Because those who say they love you and for you, who be there for you, you might want to watch those. Because I don't need to tell you what I can do when I can show you in who I am. One thing about me, and anybody who knows me can tell you this, I introduce myself, hey, I'm crazy. But I got you when I say I got you. You ain't gonna want for nothing. I'll go without before you go without. And when I say it's coming, it's coming. And when I say God said it, he said it. I never go to anybody in Georgette language, because Georgette is screwed up. She will mess up. But I know what God said. He said many of you have been self-sabotaged by those in-house conversations because somebody close to you want to fit in with out-house people. So they took an in-house conversation outside your house. You're mad with the wrong people. Check your in-house conversationalist, individualists that you have in those conversations with. Because everybody don't have the same language, and we don't speak the same language. We don't speak the same languages. There's Spanish, there's French, there's Portuguese, there's Italian. I can't go talking English to somebody who don't know English. I may know Petico Espanol, can't even say the word right because I'm too excited. I may know a little Spanish, but I can't go have a full conversation without having a barrier. Thank God for the Holy Spirit, I can discern what they're saying. He will give you gifts if you ask. But my thing is, there's barriers inside the house because in-house people are taking your information outside. And now it's being used for public display, and you're mad with the wrong individual. My conversations have changed with individuals real good. I'm going to be a million with me. Because even in-house, you can't even decipher the conversation, and there's still a language barrier. We need to sit down and understand, even speaking English is not translated or communicated properly. Everybody can't carry you, and everybody will not be able to understand you. But at least respect me enough and have enough order and dignity to when we have an in-house conversation, you don't feel so desperate to fit in that you take an in-house language to an outside people, to an outhouse is what the Holy Spirit said, an outhouse people, and they can't decipher. Therefore, they build an opinion and they build what they call an arsenal against you because in-house people couldn't even protect you. Because they were desperate for attention, desperate to fit in. They had a need because they never fit in. They always had a fight. They had a need to fit in, so they sold you out. They sold you out. So what you're going to have to do now is learn how to detox from that and understand that even in-house, there's language barriers. Even in-house people have an outhouse conversation. And sometimes outhouse people will bring an in-house conversation in that will shock and wow you because what's in your house can't even protect you because they can't even protect themselves. You might want to check your in-house stuff before you run out here into an outhouse arena trying to rectify and clean up when cleanup is very easy. There's a spill in-house, one. There's a spill in-house, one. Where is this going? Many of you are affected. You're bitter. You're ill. You're upset with individuals when it's not even an individual. Look in the mirror at you. You allow somebody because of a mouth service to say that they had you. You had in-house languages and in-house conversations with people who would really have the intent of pleasing outhouse people. They can't fit in with you because you too, what they say, strong-willed. You too strong. God got you. I can't say that. I can't do this because you don't even trust you. You look at God as a convenience. You look at God as a convenience. You make the choice not to be committed to Him. In this walk here, I didn't ask for none that I've been through. I didn't ask for none of it. I got issues within myself. But He chose me for this. Not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. But I go to the table and get it right. I would never allow anybody to fit my heart or change my opinion. I matter that much. You got to make up in your mind if He trusted me with this process. As difficult as it may be, and I'm not telling you it's easy, but I made up in my mind, I'm tired. I'm tired of in-house people who I know I have had an in-house conversation with. The outhouse people know, and you and there's a language barrier, and you don't even try to teach before you open your mouth to dispose. And many of you have allowed outhouse conversations about other outhouse people who can shift your dynamics. You base an opinion, a prejudice off of them based off of outhouse conversation. You don't even know those people yourself. The Bible specifically states, be careful of how you treat people because you never know when you're entertaining angels unaware. Because you don't have any oil in your life, don't be upset with people who can keep pushing when they're dealing with hell. It's hard over here for this woman. But I made up in my mind, as sure as the sun is shining brightly outside, that if He trusts me with it, though I may slip and fall, I will not stay.
I get up, I reevaluate, and I push. This circle is so small, I can't even see myself sometimes. But at the end of the day, I will never be offended because somebody on the outside, the outhouse, speaks of me when somebody on the in-house told them about me. It's time for a detox in the house because many people don't understand the various languages that we as an individual household have. I'm not in the business of telling people this is confidential, don't tell it when you in my house. I shouldn't even have to put that label up. This is a confidential conversation because if there's something wrong with you, not me. And if you got to keep repeating that this is a confidential conversation, you might want to just hold it in yourself. Because there's a 99.5% chance that it's going to get told. Quit allowing yourself to be hurt, harmed, bitter, angry, emptied, needed when God gave you an assignment. If you read the Bible correctly, and I'm going to paraphrase this, I'm going to shortchange this for you. It takes 6 months to take care of your father's business, 6 months to take care of your family's business. That's a total of a year. You ain't got no time for nobody else's business. But we're so busy trying to fix everything that we ain't broke. And we want to go out here and attack the person that is saying the news instead of the person that you had in-house in your face telling you they had you, you their sister, you their auntie, you their mama. You guys supposed to had you and they uncovered you. Now, God said exposure was starting in the house. He didn't say you had to let your in-house people expose you because they were needy. Check your sources. Check who you plug into. Check your outlets. Check who you plug into. Check it. You might want to detox because you holding grudges. You missing your blessings because y'all praying for resources. Y'all praying for connections. Y'all praying, doing all this big praying. And you allow your in-house people to bring out-house people in. Now you mad with the resource and the person God sent you because your in-house people exposed you. And it could be just simple conversation, how you cut up with people. And they exposed you. You cannot allow stuff to keep holding you bitter. Now, if you want to talk about bitter, I could be bitter all day, every day. There's a lot that was lost. But what God asked me, I will never forget that day he visited me in my house before it was gone, because I lost it. He said, you are upset and bitter over mess. But who has more value to you? The house with the 10 acres, with the 5 or 6 different cars, with the rental property you have. What has more value to you, baby? Me or that? And I quickly say you. He said, but why are you bitter? Why are you bitter because of that? Let it go. Let them have it all. And I, not going to lie to you, I cried. Because I'd have been with women since I was 16 and at 41 to be single, to be starting over with nothing. Now you say, yes, she had God, that's enough. It is. But when you are going through the process of losing and going through the process of just saying, let it go, the Holy Spirit is telling you, let it go. And you're like, I got sweat and tears and blood up in that. I got dirty for that. Ain't do nothing compromising, but it took time to build that. There was some blood, sweat, and tears in that. And I could feel as soon as God left the room, he came back again. All I did was sit there and say, dang, I can't do this. 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 He come back again. He said, when are you going to let it go and trust me? And he said, I'm going to ask you this one more time. Who has more value to you? The stuff or me? I say you. He said, let it go. I let it go. I quit fighting. I'm not going to tell you it's been easy, but I do trust this. It's time to win. It's time for me to experience wins as I experience my losses. When you guys want to talk about, when I hear people saying, leaders got it going on, y'all don't know the private struggles because they can't trust you with them. You got to be very careful of in-house people. I have had the most in-house people that's tried to expose me and can't even tell my story right. Even when I type it up for them, they can't tell it right. At least if I have the courtesy to type it up for you, at least read for the manuscript if you can't memorize it correctly. Many of us need to go through the detox that we don't really need those people no more. While you see the potential in them, quit draining yourself and give them to God. Quit allowing in-house things to stay so close to you that they bind you up. They become a tie and not a release. They become a tie and not a push. They become a tie and not a life preserver. The same way you can have a soul tie, you can have an in-house tie, which is a soul tie, because you're looking at them for what they promised, what they said with their mouth, but their heart is nowhere near it. Cut the strings, unloose them yourself. Then you will see a flow like never before. Many of you are asking, why is the stagnation still here? Why am I still struggling with this? Why come it come in spurts? You might want to check your in-house stuff. Do a detox and say, baby, while you were beneficial for a season, I don't need you now because you're damaging me. It's okay to announce the damage. When you go to the doctor, you got to expose why you're coming because they don't know. They asked you why you here. They asked you when did it start. They asked you the basic questions. You know when it started. Physician, heal thyself. Write your prescription. Do a detox. Let's heal healthy. Let's do it today. There are language barriers, even in in-house conversations. But when you want to know what the damaging, the real suicide, the real homicide is when in-house people take out-house people in there and don't explain to them. Don't give them language barriers. Don't teach them anything. They just deposit your stuff, the in-house conversation. And now there's a language barrier because they didn't decipher it properly. In-house, crazy mean you good. You explain that in a way. For example, me and my sisters and my daughters. I'm like, y'all, that was crazy. That was good. They explained it in a way that I caught it, but it was crazy that I missed it. It was good crazy. But when you take an in-house language outside and say, man, that's crazy, people in their mind hear the third floor definition. They don't want to hear she got that in a crazy way. It was simple that way, but it connected with me. That was crazy good, baby. You take an in-house verbiage language to an outside world and all they see is third floor. Oh, she's psychotic. She need to go to the third floor. You don't try to go back and explain it because you felt little, because you assume they will understand. Every house has a different language. You're going to have to teach it if you want to distill it to somebody. At least have the common courtesy to put the work in if you're going to open your mouth to let them in. You catch that? If you're going to have an in-house conversation with out-house people, at least have the common courtesy to teach them because there won't be any barriers. If you want them involved, involve yourself in teaching them to make the world a better place. Now, your president says, our president says, walls save lives. Walls kill people. Because we put up walls, put up barriers, don't understand. What's going to save lives is being real, being consistent, being committed, and making the right choices in all that we do. I could never bring him in an in-house conversation because his mentality couldn't handle it. And it could be something as small as the itsy bitsy spider. And he'd have it all tore up. You will have to teach him. And at this rate, I don't even know if he's teachable. With God, all things are possible. With me, I don't think it's possible. But thank God that people don't look at me for a decision. They look at me for a life change. While everybody's life and process is necessary, be careful of the various language barriers. We speak different languages, and be careful who you allow yourself. Be careful who you allow yourself to bring in your house when they were already out your house. Because a lot of people have spoken in-house conversations, and the people that you had the in-house conversation with took your business outside to outhouse people who didn't even understand what the in-house was talking about. Go back and listen to this today. Go back and get yourself right. Because while we're talking about we want to be healthy, we want to be this, we want to be that, and the third, can we get our house right? Can we detox this? And say, if I'm that needy for people, if everybody's always against me, why am I the one with the issue when I only told 2 or 3 people about me? How do these outhouse people know about my in-house issues when I've never met them, but yet they're carrying me, but I'm mad with them, never really dealing with what was with me? Many of you need to man up. Because one thing I don't need a get along gang mentality. If I'm wrong, show me that you're a real true friend and tell me, Georgette, that was wrong. You did that wrong. You should have did it this way. If you got to have somebody always cover you in this way, oh, that was right. Yeah. I think you said that right. Yeah. They ain't got no backbone. They're dangerous to you. I'd rather have people that are with me that will tell me the truth for me to correct to be better than to cover me and make me bitter. Because for a person to not tell you you're wrong, but help you cover your wrong, is dangerous to your life. Because if I could cover you in mess, that means I'm holding something over your head that I can manipulate and control you. And you can find every scripture in the Bible to help you, but I'm going to tell you this. Until you be real with you, you will always be miserable, questioning everybody's heart because your heart is bitter. If a real friend is a true friend indeed, they will sit down and tell you your mess need to be cleaned up and help you, assist you in it, not cover you in it. I will never cover anybody. Never cover. Listen to how I'm saying this. I will not expose you, but I will never cover you. Because you and I got to sit down and have an eye to eye. And I will tell you all your business. But I will never allow anybody in the street to tear you up when I say you my friend. I will never allow anybody to tear you up or come to me about you without having you on the phone or we being in front of you. This is what we got away from. The Bible says, when you have an ought against your brother, go to your brother. Now, if you want to talk about, let's do the Bible like this right here. And then if that don't work, you go get you another witness. Whoever bringing you the news about somebody, you tell them, hold up, wait a minute. Because I got an iPhone. We can FaceTime. We can squash this. We can end this. I will FaceTime you because you can see them with me. I will call you because you can hear them with me. We can't talk. Facebook is so good. They have a messenger with video. We could do a conference. And I'll tell you, thank you. I will tell you, oh, so-and-so said, this person here said that, you said this. 9 times out of 10, until we do this, that's why the drama and the dramatics are still taking over ministries. My stuff is small and I'm at peace because I deal with it. Quit cherry picking the Bible to when it's convenient for you. Keep the Bible in the heart at all times and use it to your advantage, and it'll squash some mess. The reason mess still exists and you still can't have a nice church service, the Holy Spirit can't come in and people can't be saved, healed, or delivered is because you got dramatics and theatrics up in the house. Clean your house. Detox. It's time for a detox. And change and teach some differences in language barriers. Teach another language. Because one thing I've learned today, after having a nice talk with God, because I wrote this around, this is an ugly handwriting. I wrote around 1 o'clock in the morning. Because I said, okay, God, what that mean? And I kept sitting up looking at it. Different languages can't have in-house conversation with out-house people. My thing is, I don't hold conversations, period. Because I already learned what was in my house. I try to rebuild it by having a conversation, but the demeanors and the actions are still the same. And while it hurts, you have to make up in your mind, it's time to let that go. It ain't going to change. Because people seem to forget what they do to you or did to other people, but want to be exempt. They want to be exempt. Somebody's always done them wrong, but what did you do to somebody else? How did you handle somebody else? How do you expose or dispose of somebody else's conversation with you? You got to ask yourself these questions. Because I've been around a lot of people lately who never sat down and factor what they did, but it's always what somebody else is doing. But what did you do? And how little do you forget what you did? And how little do you forget how you were overcome? How little do you forget that God didn't expose you, but you're clapping your hands and happy at somebody else's exposure? You better understand who you are. And none of us are exempt. We're not exempt. But my thing is, I will never do to you what you did to me. But my thing is this. Why do you hold so many people in bondage when you were the one who opened the door for them to come in? Why you one that did it? Why you bitter with everybody else? Own your truth. Tell your truth. Everybody knows it. But you're so busy happy to see somebody else's fall. To have a new person to talk about because the heat's off of you. You might want to be careful. There's always a boomerang effect. Go back and listen to this message today. I just want you to know you can't have an in-house conversation with out-house people. Because even in your house, you have an out-house mentality person that you don't even have an in-house conversation with. It's very vital now with the way things are getting ready to happen. Y'all, I know you have been seeing certain leaders online put in moving silence. I know you've been hearing people say sometimes just shut up, because I even get blunt like that. I know you heard people say just write to God about it, talk to God about it. It's not to throw you off. It's just oftentimes your mouth need to be shut because everybody don't need to tell it. You need to let God show it. I've even started this thing with some of my people. God has been doing me on stealth mode. I've been studying the strategic things of the military when it comes down to being a stealth. And stealth mode is a bad boy. It's a bad boy. You might want to study that word because many of us need to be in stealth mode right now. Because those that are trying to get close to you, even some leaders that are trying to get close to you, it's okay to dust your hands and wipe your feet. Because those are the main culprits that are coming against you because you're different. Your heart is different. Never allow anybody to take your authenticity. Never allow anybody to take it. And that's where a lot of that testimony was going in from earlier. I almost allow material stuff to take my authentic relationship from God. When he asked me that question twice, I'd rather have him than any of it. Your process, you may not understand it. But one thing I know about this, and one thing I know is true, when God speaks to you, when God tells you something, just sit your tail down. Ask him why he wants you to do this. And like right now, he just told me to shut up and raise my hands. While it's different, and I'm scared to life, I do know he's had me quoting Exodus 14 and 13. for a while. Every mountain that you have before you, you will not see again. Just go through the process. Go through here now and go through a detox and let go of some people that stifle, that drip, drip, drop, drop, that strain will leave when you cut the cord. There's some things God will do for us, but there's some things we're going to have to do for ourselves. Cut the cord. I pray every soul tie be snipped today. Be ye free and made whole. Detox. Cut it. Cut it. Do surgery yourself. It may hurt, but always go to physical therapy. Follow the instructions. When you have a surgery, they give you a discharge plan. Follow the discharge plan. Follow the discharge plan. And you really will be whole. I love you guys. Have an awesome and amazing one. I thank you. It's an honor and privilege that you take your time out to listen to me or listen to the spirit in me. Because if you listen to me, you might be jacked up. But I love you. Know today, we just got language barriers. And our in-house people let outhouse people in it and never explained it. I'm not mad with the outhouse people. I'm not even mad with the in-house people. You just taught me how not to have a conversation. Detox by cutting the cords. Let's do a spiritual detox. I'm looking for an overflow in my life. I'm looking for it. But remember this word here. It's about stealth mode. God does not want you running your mouth prematurely. God does not want you to carry the weights of the world. What's meant for you now is greater than anything that you've been through. But you might want to check your in-house conversation with outhouse people. I love you guys. Go back and listen to this. Go back and listen to it. Share this message. Because at the end of the day, to get to where you got to go, you're going to have to cut some stuff. And you're going to have to detox. Because your in-house conversation has now been contaminated by outhouse people. And you could be mad with the wrong people when it's right there in front of your face. Your in-house people. Go back and listen to the message. I know that bless you, because it blessed me at 1 o'clock this morning because that's an ugly handwriting. But the Holy Spirit said, can't have an in-house conversation with outhouse people. And he even got deep to tell me what an outhouse was back in the day. I would not be somebody's fecal point. I would not be that. But it's time for a detox. Cut the cords yourself. Soul ties got to die today. If I'm more dependent on a person than I am God, I failed God. There's no gods. There's only one. Have an awesome and amazing Friday. Detox. Follow the discharge plan. That was a lot said in this. But I thank God for the Holy Spirit. I thank God for trusting me. And I thank you guys for trusting me. Never take it for granted. Blessings and peace upon each and every one of you. Abundance is yours. Mwah.